Moving into game number 2 between Team Elite and Xtraterrestrials. It is for Team Elite in the top left-hand corner, playing as the blue Zerg, AirTiao. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have, for Xtraterrestrials, gwbuffalo as the red Zerg. Here on Bel'Shir Vestige, and we didn't see anything crazy starting up between the two players there off the bat last time. No 6 pools or anything like that. So we'll have to see if that changes up at all moving into this game. And I'm updating the overlay. This is the bad thing about having no production with you. You have to do everything yourself. But there you go. 1-0 or 0-0. 0-1. There we go. It sounds like I'm speaking binary. But yeah, nothing differentiating these two players so far. Of course, Bel'Shir Vestige is the map for Zerg to draw obscene things on the minimap. As you can see right now. It's pretty terrible. I don't know, it just cracks me up every time. Every single time. Alright, so we have spawning pools. It's literally identical builds out of both players right now. I didn't see either of these players. I haven't seen either of them play so far. So I can't really commentate on what their style is going to be in this game. Hopefully as the season progresses, I'm going to get a good understanding of what different players like to go. Like I've already established that Cowman likes the game to go really long and he likes to macro. So, you know, that's something I've picked up. The other players, though, I haven't seen any repeats besides Cowman right now. So you guys are learning probably what the other team is doing, as I am as well. Moving into gas here, gwbuffalo might be going into speedlings much quicker, actually, than his opponent, as gas has just halfway, well, it's actually about to finish here, out of air for Team Elite up here. And it'll be interesting to see if he goes for speed or just goes for defensive banelings, because this is a slower time. You know, as somebody who plays random at master level, when I get my gas this late, I'm generally going for more of a defensive baneling or a tech build, because speedlings, your opponent's going to have them faster a lot of the time when you're that delayed. So we'll have to see. Now, econ-wise, AirTiao's going to be just a tiny bit ahead. As his expansion will finish up first, but it's really at how much you're droning. The Queen is going to finish down there for gwbuffalo, but that's behind AirTiao, so a second one started up down there in the south, not at the expansion actually, and then at the expansion up here in the north. So it'll be a little bit easier to defend off the bat down here, which, while not heavily important, does, you know, kind of scare away those lings off the bat. 2 lings moving out. They're going to try and scare this Queen back into the base, get some scouting information. Is he going to... I don't see... Okay, yeah, he just clicked on the gas. You saw that right there. So he's going to see that only about 130 has been mined, and that spawning pool is cruising. Actually, 230 has been mined, and that spawning pool is cruising, so he didn't actually pull drones out of gas, which leads you to believe, as a Zerg player, when you see that there's going to be baneling aggression. And no, I know there's a little bit of motion blur. I was trying to run it in in XSplit instead of Open Broadcast here. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of bling aggression up here out of gwbuffalo. That's why he was keeping so many in gas, and that's why a spine crawler was started up here out of AirTiao. And this is the aggressive build I actually prefer when I'm playing Zerg v Zerg as well. Wow, all those banelings morphing right next to this hatchery. It's like they're little larvae, but they're not. They're dirty banelings. In cocoons, not larvas. Okay. So a decent amount of speedlings up here at the top of the ramp, but there's just not really an answer to all these banelings. And I think AirTiao might be getting forced to tap out, as his baneling nest is just starting. More legs going down and all those drones being piled up. And the Queen not focusing them down at all. Right now he's just working on trying to split as best as he can, and that was actually a really good split. Nothing actually died, but now lots of lings are going to come in, and there's not enough to hold them back. as well as now all the drones are very low, so the reinforcing Lings that come out, gonna have to try and stem this tide. He has the defender's advantage, of course, but he hasn't been able to inject, so he's actually low on larva. And those Zerglings dealing a lot of damage to the drones. How many workers have actually been picked off so far? 13 workers dead out of Great White Buffalo. Now that being said, it's 16 to 20 on the worker count. So he's only 4 behind with all of those dying. But it's going to be a position that's going to be very difficult to come back from. Great White Buffalo, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and start droning up. Yeah, he already started droning. Behind this, he's dropping a Roach Warren, getting a Spine Crawler. He's just going to play it safe from that massive advantage he took. That's something a lot of players have a hard time knowing when to back off on their aggression. +1 armor is about to finish here out of the Team Elite's Zerg player up here in the north. So the great thing about going +1 is your Lings live a little bit longer because Ling attack speed is really what makes them so good. So it's actually 7 attacks to kill a Ling initially, and now it's going to be quite a few more. So that's always good to do. Ling's coming in here trying to see what's going on. He's going to see a big wall and a Baneling defending said wall as well as a Spine Crawler and a Queen behind it. So pretty great defensive setup here out of Great White Buffalo. I'm really liking his build so far and when he backed off on aggression. And there's actually not that much gas being mined up here for AirTiao. He needs to start throwing some more into that, especially if he wants to try and stay alive in this game, because there's going to be a timing coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, okay. Roaches are started. +1 weapon damage is started as well. He may wait for the +1 to actually finish. He may just start seeing how much is out on the field and be able to attack. He moved his Spinecrawler into a position because right now he's thinking, okay, I got ahead economically, which means my opponent is probably going to try for a pretty aggressive all-in. So we'll have to see. Great White Buffalo actually hasn't moved over to see if the natural got restarted. So that's kind of interesting. Generally, you want to jaunt over to see if it's a one-base all-in coming at you behind that. But I guess he saw that there wasn't really enough aggression. He also has vision on this ramp, so he's not really seeing anything run by. Though I think technically, vision-wise, a Ling, like Lings could stream past right here and he would never know. It's just barely out of range there. But anyway, we have Great White Buffalo building more roaches. He's going to layer right now, which he hasn't finished up. So he might just wait for speed after this because he knows he's so far ahead. Meanwhile, both players still droning up behind this. Tao actually took the lead somehow, I guess. Probably because of all those roaches that were being made early. So he may be able to come back into this game. He's going to have +1/+1 by the time these roaches hit. Actually, no. They're moving out across the field right now with all these Lings. These Lings really like this one roach. That guy's a player right there. Look at him. What's up? What's up? I got a bunch of Lings around me. Little hotties. With popped collars, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what wings would be in the... They're definitely plumage. So this Bling Roach aggression is going to be so hard to hold. He's dropping a bunch of Spine Crawlers. They're not going to finish probably by the time this army starts attacking. So he's not going to be able to start transfusing them, which kind of stinks. And then all these Lings are going to have a really hard time staying alive to all these Banelings. Banelings moving up, getting a decent amount of damage done, but a lot of them actually detonating on the Queens. So these Lings actually are able to sweep in, but it looks like they're just going to be too much out of Great White Buffalo. Despite getting back ahead in the worker count, AirTiao is going to be forced to tap out of this game, leading it to be a 0-2 right now for Team Xtraterrestrials moving into game number 3.